Hello YouTube, my name is Nero, and today we're going to be talking about making your own YouTube gaming channel. Too often I get the question, Nero, how do I make my own channel? Nero, what equipment do I need to purchase? I figured I would go ahead and make this video telling you everything you need to know about starting your own gaming channel. But keep in mind there is going to be a lot of information in this particular video. So at any given time, feel free to pause the video, feel free to come back to the video, feel free to rewind and re-listen to something because you may not understand it the very first time. There's a lot of stuff I'm going to be going over in this video. But hopefully at the end of it, you guys will have a good idea as to everything you need to purchase and everything you need to know about starting your own gaming channel. Let's get started. There are four main things you need to purchase when starting your own YouTube gaming channel. You need to have a capture card, a microphone, an editing software, as well as a PC. Let's start with capture cards first and foremost. HD is king. No, you cannot purchase a second-rate card. HD is the standard, and you need to have a minimum of 720p, 60 frames per second. Two cards I can recommend to you guys are the Elgato or the HD PBR2. Both are very easy to set up external capture cards, and they both can put out pretty good quality at a relatively cheap price. No, you cannot get the super cheap capture cards like the Dazzle DVC 100s or the Easy Caps of the world. Those days are well behind us, and if you want to stand out as a YouTube channel, you need to actually have some pretty good quality. Speaking of quality, when setting up your capture card, you are going to need to keep in mind three things: resolution, frames per second, as well as bit rate. Now the resolution is pretty obvious. You're going to want resolution to be at least 720p, preferably 1080p. Your frames per second is probably preferable if you record everything in 60 frames per second. Keep that in mind. And bit rate, one of the biggest key factors in your recording quality. So you're going to want at least to have about a 10 million bit rate, something along those lines when you're recording. Me personally, I recorded at 30 just so I have a really good recording file, but regardless, you're going to need to have at least a 10 million there. It's going to make the file sizes kind of big, but the bit rate is one of the biggest factors in actually being able to have a good looking picture when you're recording. To answer a question I get a lot, I actually record my stuff with the AVERMEDIA Live Gamer HD, and no, this is not one of the two capture cards I recommended to you. I recommend if you're just new starting out to YouTube that you should try the Elgato capture card or the HD PBR2. The reason I not recommend you the capture card that I use is because the AVERMEDIA Live Gamer HD is actually an internal capture card, meaning you're going to have to open up your PC and install this capture card to your graphics card, which can kind of be daunting to some new people. And you can never just go wrong with an Elgato. You can never go wrong with an HD PBR2. They're both external, both easy to set up USB capture cards. Very, very nice stuff. Next, let's talk about microphones. The days of having a crackling headset mic on YouTube is long gone. It's not going to work for you guys anymore. The minimum microphone, and also a good starter microphone for you guys to use, would be the blue Snowball. Now keep in mind there are two kinds of microphones. There are condenser microphones and there's dynamic microphones. Without boring you too much, condenser microphones are great for interviews or capturing all the sound within an entire room. Dynamic microphones are better for solo commentating, which is preferred for most gaming YouTube channels. The blue Snowball is not a dynamic microphone, it's actually a condenser, but it's still a very, very good starter mic to actually use for quite a long time here on my YouTube channel. And you can usually find them online for maybe $20 or so, and they're a really, really good quality for what they are. Before you guys ask, I actually use the Rode Podcaster. The particular microphone I use is called the Rode Podcaster. It's a dynamic USB microphone. I don't have an interface with it. Also, with your microphone, I recommend downloading the free program Audacity. This is a free audio recording program which allows you to isolate background noise from your recordings and remove it. It's simple and free. There's really no reason for you not to use it. Next, let's talk about editing software. There are two main editing softwares used by YouTubers. There's Sony Vegas and there's Adobe Premiere. Adobe Premiere can actually put out better quality videos, but it does have a lot steeper of a learning curve. Both programs can be actually pretty expensive. I know there's a lot of people who illegally download these programs, which of course I can't recommend you guys doing, but just know that one of these softwares is essentially needed for making quality videos here on YouTube. Personally, I use Sony Vegas, and I have been ever since I started doing YouTube, and I want to give you guys a quick rundown as to things you need to remember when editing your videos with Sony Vegas. Number one, disable resample. This is so simple, but people forget to do it. Even when recording at 60 frames per second, be sure you disable resample on your video files. That way there will not be any ghosting. You see that ghosting? It's gross. You don't want that. Be sure to disable resample, and that will get rid of that ghosting. This is the format that I actually render my videos in. Remember, when rendering your videos, like recording your gameplay, that bitrate is king and is super key to your quality. I recommend at least a 10 million bitrate on most of your videos. You need to be rendering your videos in 60 frames per second, especially for YouTube. And I will say sometimes though, if the video is over 15 minutes long, you could probably drop it down to 30 frames per second, just because a 60 frame per second video is a giant file size as compared to a 30 frame per second video. So if it's over 15 minutes, it's probably best for everybody just to drop the thing down to 30 FPS. But if it's under 15 minutes long, I definitely recommend recommend rendering all your videos out at 60 frames per second. That could definitely be a whole lot better. The fourth and final thing we're going to be talking about is going to be having a good PC. This is a big part of running a gaming channel. Whether you're recording your stuff on console or you're recording PC footage, your computer plays a huge part in your YouTube channel. Rendering videos out on a low-end PC or a laptop can actually be a giant pain. I know it, I've been there. When I first started my YouTube channel, it took me 8+ hours to render out a 10-minute video at a very low bitrate. It's okay to start with a low-end PC. It's okay to start with a low-end laptop. Make your videos during the day, render them out overnight while you're sleeping, and then upload them the following morning or afternoon. Get a schedule, and that way you can still make daily consistent gaming videos on your YouTube channel, even with a low-end PC. But I'm going to say you are going to want to eventually upgrade to a lot better of a PC, but it is okay to start with a rather subpar one when you're first making your YouTube gaming channel. With equipment out of the way, I want to throw in some quick pointers here at the end of the video. So first and foremost, the name is important. It is your brand. This is what people know you by. Make sure your name on YouTube here is something catchy, something memorable, something that not a lot of other people already have. Try to avoid repeat names. Try to avoid names with X's. Try to avoid names with numbers in there or anything of that nature. Good titles for your YouTube videos are definitely important. Make sure they look good. Make sure they accurately describe the video, and make sure they are clear. If you're confused as to how to make a good title here on YouTube, check out some titles that other YouTubers are using and use those kind of as a starting point. That way you can get an idea of how people like to title their videos and what is actually attractive to some of the viewers. Tags are just as important as titles. That's how people end up finding your videos. Make sure they accurately describe the video and the game that you're playing, as well as have your own channel's branding in there. Consistent content is key, ladies and gentlemen. Daily uploads, 5 videos a week, anything like that. Get a schedule and stick to it. Start 1 or 2 weekly series if you would like. Start uploading and stick to it. People can't find you if you don't have videos. So many people get unmotivated when they see the fact that they've got 2 videos up and neither one of them are exploding. You need to have a ton of videos out. You need to continue to post. That's how YouTube goes. You need to continue to do this. YouTube is a slow start and a very expensive hobby when you first start. It's a very expensive hobby, but just know that long tail is your best friend. What is long tail, you may be asking? Well, long tail is when old videos that you've uploaded continue to gain views over time. The key to getting good long tail is uploading videos that people want to find, covering topics, making lists, showing off something amazing in game, other things like that that people want to see, things that people will search for. That is the key to having good long tail, and the more videos you have up, the bigger your long tail can be, and the better your channel will grow and benefit from long tail as a result of that. The more you upload, the better your channel will do. Just keep in mind, every video that you need to upload needs to be something good and the best possible video that you know how to make at that time. Sure, your videos are going to stink when you first start out. All of ours did, and then they get better, then they get better, then they get better, they get better, until eventually you start getting to the point where you feel as though every single video you're making is better than the one you made before. That's how YouTube ends up working, and those are my tips, ladies and gentlemen, for starting your own YouTube gaming channel. I covered all the equipment and made some recommendations as to things you guys should get with your equipment. If you have any further questions about starting your own YouTube gaming channel, I will be more than happy to answer them in the comment section, or if you would like to know more about a specific aspect of running your own YouTube gaming channel that you think may deserve its own separate video, of course, I'd be taking suggestions into consideration from the comment section below. Thank you for your time. I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please be sure to leave a rating. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.